Hey, what's up everybody on Facebook? Happy Thursday. Taking a break from some of my coaching and a planning session with my team to throw this message out to you. My team and I are doing planning for 2019, for 2020 right now. And the thing that I'm stressing to them, as I'm stressing to all my friends, is the market is adjusting. The world is adjusting. It's always adjusting. And it comes down to me, two things. One, making a huge declaration about what you're moving towards, about what it is that you really want, about the impact you want to make, about the kind of business that you want, about the number of lives you want to, help buy and sell or do whatever you do professionally. Like, it's about creating a huge future to live into. And have my dog bark in the background in case you're wondering that it's live. Because my son, Stephen Ferry. Stephen, I'm live on Facebook.
Howdy.
What's up, buddy? So, Stephen, I'm talking about right now with all my friends on Facebook Live that we're planning at the planning right now with the executive team, and we're talking about the importance of, in a market like this where there's nothing but distractions, disruptors, disintermediators, and at the end of the day, discounters that are looking to attack your business. Your business is under attack, my friend. The market is shifting. All this stuff's going on. And here's what's going to happen. Ready? A lot of people are going to run and hide, and a lot of people are going to do nothing and just get beaten up. And some of us are going to decide how we want it to be. And I guess what I'm asking you, especially as we sit here at the end of August, going into the four most important months of the year for me, September, October, November, December, this is where the haves and the have-nots show up. This is where the gamers, the rock stars, the ballers, the people like you step up and step into their greatness by doing the right stuff when nobody else is. This is the most important time of the year right now. But here's the deal. It's not just action, which I want you to take. It's what do you want? Like, what do you really want? Like, what do you want your business to look like? What do you want your life to look like? What are you committed to? I was sitting with Jessica Grover, who's my head of biz dev, this just brilliant gal. She's watching, she knows, crushed this year, is gonna crush next year. She's just such an unbelievable salesperson and business development generator. And we were talking about a book, and the book is called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And she mentioned to me, she said, I'm reading this book right now, I'm listening to this audio podcast, and I'm like, that's a really heavy book. If anybody knows that book, Dr. Viktor Frankl was, during World War II in a Nazi concentration camp. And if you've ever read this very short book, highly recommend it, super intensely great. He basically, paraphrasing his historic work, said people that were in that concentration camp basically fell into one of two mindsets. Either, why is this happening to me, and therefore this is the end? And the other people said, this is happening, and I need to clearly fell out of cell range. Sorry about that, guys. Inside of this book, Man's Search for Meaning, Dr. Viktor Frankl talks about the fact that people were falling into one of two mindsets, right? Why is this happening to me? Versus, what am I going to do about this? The people that had the mindset of what am I going to do about this survived, and they had strong emotional reasons why to go out and, make a difference, to make sure it never happened again, to do all these things that were, so important, leaving such a historic world tragedy. And the reason why that's so important is because that same mindset is the mindset that I see in people today. Like, the market's clearly adjusting. Things are absolutely happening. Things are going to be different. Distractions, disruptors, disintermediators, discounters, the market shift, interest rates, all these things are going to happen. I'm not saying the world's going to fall apart. If you're with me at the summit, we're talking about in the North American marketplace, the US marketplace, where home values were going up by 10% a year, right? 10% a year, 50% appreciation in 5 years. Now we're talking about going into a normal market, 2 to 3% appreciation. Things would appear to be slowing down, but it's not bad. It's just a normal market. But see, the vast majority of people don't see things as they are. They make them worse. They say, why is this happening to me? Why is my listing not selling? How come my buyers and offers aren't getting accepted? And guess what, my friends? They suffer. They suffer. Where the people that say, this is what I want, this is what I'm going for, this is what I'm committed to, this is my vision, this is what I'm all about. Like, I don't know if you saw on Instagram yesterday, I posted a little pity pot morning that like a little moment in time for like 13 minutes where I was like, oh man, I'm turning 50 and I got to get my ass in gear. And I haven't achieved some of the big things I want to achieve in my life. And I was actually had like a 13-minute pity party. Like, my head was a scary place to be. I admit it. Like, I am human, right? Like, we all do that shit. And then I quickly asked myself a better question, which is, I said, between 48 and 58, the next decade ahead, what would make it extraordinary? How could I have maximum impact? How can I make a difference with even more people? How can I touch more lives? How can I have a better relationship, be better with my kids? I just went through the full gamut. You know what it is? I stopped being the victim in the moment, and I decided how I wanted it to be. And that's the message I want to get across to you today. How do you want it to be? Who gives a shit if the market adjusts? Let that be the other 2/3 of the population of your industry that just go, oh, we don't know what to do. Interest rates are 5.5. No one's ever going to buy a house again. Or there's a new discount company in my area. Or there's a new brokerage and they're disrupting everything. Stop buying into that shit and decide. You with me on that? Stop buying into the BS and decide how you want it to be. That's the game. So then the second part of that is what? You got to start taking bold, consistent action. You got to start taking bold, consistent action. So if you were with me at the summit or you've been paying attention to a couple of my live, posts recently, I'm really fixated on this 100 appointment challenge, like hashtag 100 APPT challenge, 100 appointment challenge. And this is what I'm telling people, like, I want you to figure out what it is you want between now and the end of the year. I want you to figure out how you want your business to be. I want you to declare, regardless of what's going on out there, what you are committed to, what you are going to do. And then, whether it's the 100 appointment challenge or something, you gotta be in consistent, massive action. So I'm challenging everybody, do 100 appointments, right? And people are like, oh my God, 100 appointments. Tom, that's so many. I've only gone on 20 this year. That's exactly why you should go for 100. What if you screw up and get 80? When you change what you do, you change your identity, you change your standards, you become more because of the action. And then think about it like this. What's the worst case scenario of setting a personal intention to go on more appointments than you've ever gone on before in your life? What's the worst case scenario? You're busier? I can't even think of, there is no worst case scenario. I can't even think, no one's gonna shoot you. No, hey, you went on too many appointments, you're arrested. The real estate consumer police are not gonna arrest you because you suddenly became hyper productive on serving more customers, meeting with people in your database, figuring out who the investors are, figuring out who the real buyers are, helping people figure out their credit, doing all the things that you do because it's who you are, but just doing it with this intense focus and concentration around a number that's just gonna break through for you and start the next year at such an extraordinary level. Think about it. What's the most likely scenario when you go on 100 appointments? What's the most likely scenario? What's most likely gonna happen? I'd have the most productive fourth quarter of my career. My spouse might get mad if I don't create an expectation around how I'm gonna organize my schedule. Some people in the office might think that I'm crazy because I'm suddenly trying to sell a lot of houses and that's not normal. We all kind of just drink and screw around here. That's probably more likely to happen. But then what's the best case scenario? What's the best case scenario when you do this? The best case scenario is forget the money, forget what January, February, March, April is gonna look like. Forget how you're gonna feel from an esteem standpoint, knowing that, metaphorically, you just ran a marathon and you finished it, or you climbed Mount Everest and you finished it. The euphoria, forget all that, right? Forget all that. I think the best case scenario is what you will begin to believe about yourself. That you will be released from the shackles of doubt and bullshit and old stories and all these ways that you thought you used to be, and you will finally step into your greatness. I think that's the real best case scenario, because from there, anything is possible. 48 to 58, my best decade ever. That's all I'm doing, stepping into the greatness, right? Focusing on what it is I want, right? Not on the pity party, not on the age, not on the date, not on the number, not on the fact that there's goals that I've set that I haven't achieved. Again, I'm focusing on, like, I'm moving forward, and then you got to get into massive action. So I'm asking you, like, what is it that you're committed to? What do you really want? And I don't mean that like motivational. I mean like the lifestyle. Like, if you go back to the summit where I said to you, look, here's what you got to do to make sure your business is, that's Maria, who, by the way, has basically been with my family like since my boys were born, and she's like the best in the West. Like, I love her. I love you, Maria.
I love you too. I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. You're live on Facebook. Everyone's going, look at that hot stuff.
Oh.
So at the summit, when I was like, look, there's 8 things that you can do to be undestructible. The very first thing was to just declare that this is my business and what I do is serious and it matters. You with me on this? That what you do matters. This is your business, and your business changed lives, and it helps your family, and it does so much, and you're in control of it, no one else. Like, and I can talk for days on that. 1.3 million realtors in the US, only 43,000 actually sell more than 25 homes a year. 3% of them, the balance of them are just living on scraps. That's not a business, they're hobbyists. Step it up, people. The second one is you gotta stockpile cash, right? And this is really something I'd love for you guys to think about, because maybe this is a discipline for you between now and the end of the year. Trimming back the stupid spending, right? Focusing on dollar productive activities. Stop screwing around in the office doing a bunch of shit that you know doesn't actually move the needle but feels busy, the rocking chair syndrome that I've talked to you guys about a few times. I can go on for days. It's 2 things. What do you really, really, really want? And what freaking action can you take every day that, as a symbol of who you are and what you're committed to, will show you real strength? Will test your character, will challenge you to be the best you can be. I think it's the 100 appointment challenge. That's what I really think it is. Maybe it's working out 250 times. I don't know, but I know this. It is only through massive action that you conquer your fears and you take control of your destiny. That much I know. Do me a favor, share this with a friend. Share it with a loved one. Rally the troops around you. The 4th quarter is our best quarter. This is our time. This is our time. This is my business. This is my time, and I don't give a shit about all those other disruptors and discounters and all that stuff. I'm gonna stay focused on the prize. I'm gonna stay focused on the prize. You with me? Happy Thursday. Get to work.